low-frequency sound carries a tremendous distance compared to high-frequency sound, simply over any kind of terrain, because they are they have such long wavelengths that things don't get in the way of low-frequency sound. So if the object of the game is to communicate over kilometers, miles, low-frequency sound will do it, whereas high-frequency sound will not. The other advantage is that low-frequency sound sources are very hard to locate, so that a hadrosaur out there honking away is going to be tough to locate. And just think of going to a choir concert, and you close your eyes. It's really easy to pick out where the soprano is, whereas it's very difficult to pick out where the baritones and basses are. The same thing applies to hadrosaurs honking in the late Cretaceous. That if the object of your communication is, look out, there's a tyrannosaur here, and you don't want the tyrannosaur to focus in on you, you make noises at really low frequency.
So Parasaurolophus probably used low-frequency sound to confuse predators as well as to communicate. Communication denotes social behavior, such as that displayed by African elephants. Like elephants, could the dinosaurs use low-frequency sound to warn of impending danger, protect their young, and coordinate the movements of the herd? Weishampel believes at least one dinosaur could. The highlight of a children's birthday party is the guest appearance of Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Is he real? It's down below. Tyrannosaurus Rex!
Oh, there, you got him.
Sophie, how old are you today?
The commercial world has merchandised dinosaurs on a massive scale.
Cut it all the way
From
down.
toys to T-shirts and games to party favors, they have become curious companions, part of our lifestyle and our culture.
I'm making the tail. I'm making the tail. I'm making the tail, too. You got
A dinosaur may also be a child's first introduction to science. Who is not familiar with Triceratops, Stegosaurus, and that perennial favorite, Tyrannosaurus Rex?
I got his tail.
Yet the ancient world was home to a much larger cast of characters. Literally hundreds of species have now been identified. But it is our insight into their physiology and behavior that has brought them to life. A big brachiosaur could weigh over 70 tons and tower more than 50 feet above the ground, heavier than a herd of elephants and as tall as a 5-story building. Some of the plant-eating giants, like Diplodocus and Apatosaurus, were as long as a tennis court, but they were probably docile, gentle creatures. Most coelurosaurs were fast and tiny, some no bigger than a chicken. Ankylosaurs were fully armored and weighed up to 3 tons. Their club-like tails were surely formidable weapons. Oviraptorosaurs were agile, nimble carnivores with relatively large brains and an ability to hunt down prey with deadly speed. Dinosaurs were weird and wonderful in so many ways, and they were real. As creatures of flesh and blood, they were truly magnificent. The more we learn about them, the more we need to ask. Perhaps the most controversial question of all concerns their fate. In 1987, Robert Bakker was on a routine visit to the Cleveland Museum of Natural History when he made an intriguing discovery.
There are two places to hunt for dinosaurs. You can get yourself a Jeep and go to the Badlands of Montana and dig holes. You can find new kinds of dinosaurs. Then there's the other place. You can go to a basement like this, a gloomy place, where museums keep their research collections in careful storage, specimens collected 20, 30 years ago, waiting for the scholar to come by and read the bones. And these new discoveries of dinosaurs in basements and in the Badlands are challenging everything we thought was true about dinosaurs. These new discoveries are saying we've got to rethink the ideas that dinosaurs were cold-blooded, rethink the idea that they were stupid and slow, and rethink the idea that they died without descendants. And guaranteed, in museums like this, there'll be every year new discoveries about dinosaurs.
Relegated to a dusty shelf for more than 40 years was a fossil that bore an uncanny resemblance to Tyrannosaurus rex. Barker renamed it Nanotyrannus, the pygmy tyrant.
Now, the really neat thing about this head is that it's a downsized version of the most famous dinosaur in the world, that is Tyrannosaurus rex. Now, you look at T-Rex, you've got an animal with a head 4 feet long, with a body that's 5 or 6 tons. Nano is a close relative, a head only as big as a polar bear, a body maybe 600 pounds, pony size. And yet the little dinosaur and the giant dinosaur share the same architectural stamp. You look at this head with the eye of an anatomist, and what you see written is bird, not lizard, but bird. The narrow snout, the big eyes, and especially the plumbing. Bird in these air canals, in the eyebrow, in the cheek, and all over the brain case and the back of the skull. So every time this little dinosaur took a breath, air went in and around every part of its head to cool the head. Air conditioning means the animal needed to cool itself. Why would it have to cool? Because it was a very active animal.
More important is the similarity between this skull and a small carnivorous dinosaur called Troodon. The features of this lightly built hunter show an amazing resemblance to many living birds. Scientists have long suspected that birds are descended from a very ancient animal, but which one? Many now feel that Troodon was one of the missing links in a long and complex chain that reaches back 150 million years. Beneath its colored feathers and exotic plumage, the anatomy of a bird points unmistakably to its dinosaur ancestry.
You can map every joint and every bump and every mark left by a muscle right onto the skeleton of a turkey or roadrunner or an ostrich. These are not vague resemblances. They're absolutely precise. There are 8,400 species alive today that are direct descendants of dinosaurs, and those 8,000 odd species are birds. Every single bird, from hummingbird to pigeon to ostrich, every single living bird is without question the direct descendant of a small meat-eating dinosaur. And what we've discovered this last year is that meat-eating dinosaur, that bird ancestor, was a close relative of the Tyrannosaurus, a close relative of Tyrannosaurus rex. So when you look at your canary, you're seeing a bit of T-Rex.
Today, many scientists believe that birds did not only descend from dinosaurs, they are dinosaurs. So on a cool autumn evening, look up. You may just see the dinosaurs migrating. Eventually, inevitably, the giants died. While nature decreed that at least one species would survive, most of them would not. After a staggering 140 million years, they perished. Here in the rocks at the end of the Cretaceous period, their fossil record ends.